Hey guys, what's going on? Show of Nexus back here with another video, and today we gotta talk about 30 FPS in gaming, because keep on seeing this rhetoric that 30 FPS is unplayable. Now, let's make this completely straight, okay? Let's make this completely clear and straight that I do think that 60 FPS is superior and higher FPS gameplay is superior. But now, if we look at 30 FPS, is it unplayable? I would say no. I think that 30 FPS gaming is completely fine, especially if you're playing a game that is not very competitive and does not require very fast reaction times. Like, let's say, for example, the game Life is Strange, or like a game like Remember Me, or a game like, Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Oblivion, those kind of games, right? I would say that they're completely fine. So my background is that I have basically been gaming on PC since I would say about 2014, 2015. So I mean, like as in I first got my gaming PC around that time, right? So I was gaming at 60 FPS for I would say about 2015, so almost 10 years now, right? So if we look at the consoles before that came out, yeah, sure, there were a lot of older consoles that did run at 60 FPS. I'm talking about like the NES, the SNES, and stuff like that. But when it came to the 3D era, a lot of games they ran at around, like, let's say, uh, 30 FPS, right? Sometimes even lower. Like, let's say, for example, Zelda Ocarina of Time. That game ran at about 20 FPS. And you know what? Since I was playing it and I was really enjoying it, I liked the characters, the story, I liked the gameplay, it was completely fine. And not only that, I replayed the game on my channel here, and I had absolutely no issues with the game running at 30 FPS, actually even below 30 FPS, around 20 FPS. So, I mean, hey, at this point, guys, I mean, if people want to say that, oh, hey, I prefer 60 FPS over, 30 FPS or like 45 FPS or whatever, I mean, actually, the thing is that 45 FPS is not really quite that common as well, even though like it's fine, if you're playing at 40 FPS with VRR or whatever, sometimes it'd be completely fine. You'll have no issues whatsoever. But it's not as common. So if we're talking about 30 FPS, guys, like I said, I played Elder Scrolls Oblivion around 20 FPS. I beat the entire game on my old gaming PC. It wasn't even a gaming PC. It was just like a integrated graphics or whatever. I didn't even have a graphics card in it or anything like that. So I was playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion at around, I would say, 20 FPS, maybe even a little bit lower. And the thing that really intrigued me about that game was the actual gameplay, the story, even the visuals too. Like, even though I was playing games on the Wii or the GameCube at the time, so this was around, like, I would say 2010, I would say. So yeah, the Wii was out, and like, I never actually really played the Xbox too much. I played some at my friend's house probably, but when it came to me and like playing PC games, I've played a lot of really old PC games at terrible frame rates, and you know what? I really enjoyed the games. I enjoyed the story, the gameplay as well. Like, it's not always about the frame rate. Yeah, is frame rate important in, like, let's say competitive games? Yeah, absolutely. I would not play like Super Smash Bros. At 30 FPS. I would really want 60 FPS. But when it comes to single player games, I mean, I see a lot of people complaining that Hellblade 2 is not going to be running at 60 FPS on the Xbox Series S, and I'm just like, well, look, the Series S is a budget console pretty much, right? And so is the Switch 2, right? So the Switch 2 is considered, one of the weaker consoles as well, right? So I mean, hey, a lot of games on the Switch 2 are only going to be running at around 30 FPS, okay? Or like around 40 FPS, for example, like Cyberpunk. So I mean, look, when it comes to me saying, oh hey, 30 FPS is completely playable for me, that is the case for me. Now, if you say, oh hey, 60 FPS is un unplayable, right? Like, I mean, there's people that say 60 FPS is unplayable. That's where I would go like, oh hey, that's kind of crazy. Because the thing is that most gamers would prefer around 60 FPS. Now, for me, I have a 360 hertz monitor, right? So, do I prefer playing my games at high refresh rates? Absolutely. Can I go back and play, let's say, Zelda Breath of the Wild on my Wii U and have fun with it and still play it? Absolutely. I can go ahead and play that all day, every day. I can play so many Wii U games and I'll have fun still. So, look, gaming is about fun, right? And I just think that a lot of people are just hating way too much on 30 FPS titles and stuff like that, and too obsessed with graphics and frame rate. And they don't really look at what I used to look at when I was playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion, for example, around 20 FPS. I looked at other things, right? People are way too obsessed. I think people are just really, they have the experience now of 60 FPS because most consoles at the time, 360, PS3 and stuff like that, they all ran around 30 FPS on a lot of games. So if you look at like Mass Effect, BioShock, those games, even games like The Last of Us or like other games like Tomb Raider and that kind of stuff on 360 ran around 30 FPS. So I think gamers at this point, with the PS4 even, those games were in at 30 FPS too. Horizon, The Last of Us Part 2. There are so many games that still like ran at 30 FPS. I think Quantum Break also ran at 30 FPS as well. Sunset Overdrive might have been 60. I'm not 100% sure about that one. I'll probably just put an annotation if I'm wrong or whatever. But 30 FPS and 60 FPS and frame rate and that kind of stuff, I think people are just way too obsessed with this stuff nowadays. What do you guys think, though? Please let me know in the comments down below. I did make this video just because a lot of people were telling me that 30 FPS is really unplayable. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that 30 FPS is unplayable? Do you guys think that we should be targeting 60 FPS? Now, look, okay, I'm gonna say for sure on the current gen consoles, minus the Nintendo Switch 2, you should be targeting around 60 FPS. But if you're targeting 30 FPS for like the Switch or the Xbox Series S, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for me for now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.